Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Smart Start, the program that takes you through your pre-orientation process as you prepare to begin your first year of study with us at the UWI St. Augustine campus. I'm Gerald Alder from the Division of Student Services and Development, and today I am joined by a dynamic cross-disciplinary team of professionals and experts, most of whom you would have already engaged with through this 5-week process. And of course, because we all continue to prioritize your needs during this very important period of transition to university life, we are back again today as a collective to bring you valuable information and get you the answers you need to your burning questions. So to persons that are joining us for the very first time, be it from Trinidad, be it from any of our islands, be it from any of the international territories, we say welcome to FYE, your first year experience at the UWI. And of course, to those students that were here with us at last week's session, and perhaps even for the last 4 sessions, thank you for joining us. And again, we are truly, truly honored that you have all made the UWI St. Augustine campus your choice for learning. And through the FYE program, we are, of course, committed to ensuring that you are successful in your first year and that you have a dynamic and truly rewarding university experience. So last week, we looked at academic readiness and academic advising, and we were indeed happy to have some of our faculty leaders who were here spending some time introducing you to this concept of academic advising. And should you, of course, have missed this session or any of the previous Smart Start sessions that we've had, we continue to remind you that they are all available for viewing via our FYE YouTube channel. Today's agenda, as always, is all about you and meeting your informational demands. We will commence with a brief presentation on obtaining your student ID card, and this will be followed by a Q&A where you will have an opportunity to ask any related questions that you may have for any of our panelists today, be it on scholarships and bursaries, career opportunities, G.A.T.E, student fees, registration, counseling services, student accommodation, campus activities, the student portal, etc. Any questions that you have, today is your chance to direct your questions and get them answered. So as always, during the session, we ask that you engage with us in the chat and take note of all of the important information and points that will be shared with you throughout. We also ask that when not speaking, you keep your microphone muted, and should you have a question or comment to direct to any one of our panelists, please indicate by using the raise hand feature on your screen so that you can be called upon and given the opportunity to make your contribution. So now that you've been briefed and you know what to expect today, it is my pleasure to invite our first presenter this afternoon, who will explore how to obtain your student ID card. Mr. Jean-Pierre, our IT officer, the Office of the Campus Registrar, will facilitate our presentation. Over to you, Mr. Lakai.
Thanks, Gerald. Hope you all hear me clearly. Welcome to the prospective students and to the team from UWI on the presentation today. So I will briefly discuss the ID card process, which is part of the registration process that you all will be engaged in a couple of weeks' time. So I'm just going to share my screen to show you all the registration steps, and we will start the discussion there. So hopefully you all are seeing on screen a page from our registration website. Basically, this is the steps required in getting your student ID card. So the registration process is a number of steps. This is the entire registration process. And of course, like I said, ID card is one of the most important steps close to the end of the process that you all will be engaged in. So the first thing we want to discuss is basically these are the instructions. You can find it on the website at this link. I think Gerald said he would share the link in the chat. So basically, we could just run through this pretty quickly to give you an idea of what is involved. So the first step really is for someone to take a picture. Again, the idea is you'll be uploading your picture electronically. So there's no need for you to come on campus or for us to take the picture and for you to have to wait, etc. So it's supposed to be an opportunity for you to submit the picture and speed up the process. So this link takes you to the guides. I hope you're all seeing the guides. If anybody could just confirm, but basically these are the guidelines for the photo. As typical, it's a ID photo. So it needs to meet the criteria outlined here. So again, a color photo, not blurry, make sure there are no eyeglasses or any impediments on the face, etc., or any obstructions on the head, etc. So those are things that most people will know, but again, because you are uploading the photo, we need you to follow the guidelines for the photo to be approved. Once the photo is uploaded, and I'll just show you some examples of some unaccepted photos or rejected photos, and some here which are accepted. So you get a clear idea of what we expect you to do when you're uploading a photo. Again, that process is fairly straightforward. So I'll just switch back to the process, to the flow. And again, typically what happens is you'll have to select your courses online. So during registration, as a student, you would select your courses. Once that process is completed, you would get an email, an automated email from us with the credentials to log into the page to upload the photo. The photo is then, like I say, uploaded. That link that is on the website takes you to the photo upload application. The application is usually going to be open in middle of July. And from that time, once you begin the registration process and you have your credentials, you can upload. You don't need to finish the registration process before you upload. All right, so once the photo is validated and it meets the criteria, then we proceed with printing. Of course, once it's accepted and it's printed, then you'll be able to collect the ID. Now, one of the challenges we have is a number of students sometimes submit photos and inadvertently the photo is rejected on review. And when we send the email, students sometimes don't check very frequently. So they don't see the changes or see the recommendation to upload another photo. So the idea is please check your email. I know, you're all busy and you're always stressed with registration, but make sure once you submit your photo, you check your email to make sure the photo is accepted and validated. And then the next step will just be to collect. Again, we have part of our procedure, part of your registration is financial clearance. And I'm sure the bursary personnel would have gone through that process with you. Once you have financial clearance, we will issue the ID card. And then collection is typically going to be at our office, which is located opposite the health service unit. And we plan to have some sort of appointment system for the new academic year. While we recognize that the campus will be open and we intend to be face-to-face and back to operations, we still have the pandemic as a reality. So we will have an appointment system for all students so that we could schedule the numbers of students coming to collect IDs. So there shouldn't be a rush or shouldn't be any issue with a large crowd accumulating at the same point in time. And that basically is the process. Now, if you have any challenges with uploading, any issues with your credentials or any information, feel free to email us at idcard.sta.uwi.edu. That's the website, and then go to the email idcard.help@sta.uwi.edu. Also, you can call us on 662-2002, extension 83120. That number, again, it will be available between 8:30 and 4:30, but also shoot us an email and someone will get back to you to help with whatever issue or challenge you're facing with. And that's basically it for the process and what we try to do to support students getting their new ID coming on campus. I guess I could turn over back to Jarrell and he will advise if it's time for questions. Thanks,
Thank you
Jarrell.
so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Caille, and students. We hope that you have taken the notes that you should. Very, very important information being shared there with you about the ID card. And of course, this will be needed when you return to campus. It will be an important part of student life for you. All right. So we're grateful that Mr. Caille will have joined us to share some information on that. So Mr. Caille, thank you so very much. We do have some new students on with us today, as in been here, they are here with us for the very first time. And so I thought it would be fitting to ask a member of our admissions team, Ms. Cunningham, Ms. Ninga Cunningham, to just give an overview of what are some of the key next steps now that students have received their offers. So I'm noting that we would have received some questions before today's session, and a number of questions relate to what do I do now that I've received my offer letter. So I know my colleagues are on from the admissions office. So Ms. Cunningham, if I can hand over to you to just briefly outline the key steps that students should be thinking about now that they've received their offer.
Welcome, students. Now that you are part of the university's experience, you have received your acceptance offer. So you have access to your offer package using your login and PIN. Remember that PIN, that ID you would have created when you submitted your application, so you can track your application. You just use that to log back in with your PIN. In that package, seeing that you've been accepted, you would have your acceptance offer, your offer reply form, your welcome letter, introducing you to the campus. You would have financial information attached. These are all links. The medical form, your first year experience information, your library information, and your G.A.T.E information. Ensure that you click on every single one of those links and go through them, go through the process. Remember that in order for you to register, you must submit that offer reply form to us, telling us, yes, you're excited to come stay with us. Make sure when you're submitting the offer reply form, you have two email addresses. You have admis@sta.ue.edu, where you can upload the reply form, or ugapply@sta.ue.edu. Always remember to keep a copy of that acceptance or offer letter, as you would call it, because you will need that if you're applying for financial assistance, whether it be from G.A.T.E, scholarship. All right. Remember, your offer letter will tell you what program you will be applying to do. So once you are applying for G.A.T.E, remember to select the correct program that is on the acceptance letter. All right. So the last information I want to give you, ensure that you submit your medical form. If you don't submit that medical form, it will hinder you later on in the semester in the academic year from gaining access to many things. Once you have that medical hold, you can't access the library, you can't access classes. So ensure that you complete your medical form, take it to the health services, send it off to the health services unit together with a copy of your immunization card so they can give you clearance. Don't worry if you can't take certain shots together. Our doctors and nurses will guide you. And remember, all our students to apply for G.A.T.E once you need the assistance. And also DSSD staff that is on hand will talk to you about scholarships and bursaries that are available that can provide assistance. All right, over to you, Jarrell. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Cunningham. So students, that's a comprehensive overview, right? So we're talking note-taking today. You've received your offer letter, and Ms. Cunningham just took you through some of the key steps that you should be thinking of now that you've received your offer letter and you are preparing for registration. All right. So remember, some of these topics we would have already covered in our session. And these can, if you want to refer to them at a different time or at a later time, sorry, you can always engage with the content that we have on our FYE YouTube channel. I'm also noting that our team, we are placing all of the necessary links in the chat. So we want you to also ensure that you take note of those links. All right, so Ms. Cunningham, thank you so very much. And of course, I'm asking you to stick around because we do have some other questions coming up. All right, thank you. So our next set of questions are relative to student fees. So persons are desirous of knowing, okay, what are some of the main fees that I have to cover and how do I do so? I'm pleased to say that we do have members of our campus's bursary team on with us. Ms. Lisa Ali is here with us. So Ms. Ali, I want to toss over to you just for you to give our students an overview of the key steps that they should take to pay their fees and some of the fees that they will be encountering, just so that they can take a note of that. All right, thank you, and over to you, Ms. Ali.
Thanks, Jarrell. Good afternoon, everyone. And thanks for the opportunity to be able to share with you, and congratulations and welcome to all of our new students. So just to give you an overview of some of the fees, of course, the fees that we would be particularly interested in on your student account would be fees related to your compulsory fees and your tuition. And in instances, if you are staying on hold, of course, we will be the ones collecting the whole fees on your behalf as well. So for the compulsory fees, it's made up of different fees, and I'm just going to call them over. Of course, if you do want the entire list, everything that I'm going to share with you, it is on our bursary website. Jarrell, if you can share the website so that persons could have that to easily access later on. So for the compulsory fees is made up of the guild fee. That is $225. We do have, for first-time students, you do have a ID card fee, and that will be $120. The caution fee, of course, this is for the first year of your program only. Whenever you do start a new program, let's say you decide to jump onto a postgrad program, you are going to be charged this fee again. So it's once per program. It's $500 for persons who are accessing our group health plan. That is going to be $100. There is a personal accident insurance of $20. We have a student amenities fee of $500. If for some reason your ID card gets lost, there is a fee attached to getting a new ID card or replacement ID card. That is $180. So in the first instance, these will be compulsory fees. Just to share, compulsory fees are payable at the beginning of each academic year. So whenever you register for your courses, you will see your compulsory fees being generated for semester 1. And then in semester 2, you would simply just have to pay the balance of your tuition that is respective to that particular semester. Our fees in terms of tuition, it's different for each faculty, depending on the amount of credits that's necessary to complete a particular degree. So Charlotte would have shared with you a link to our undergrad fee booklet. So if you look at that booklet, you just simply have to search for the particular faculty that you're interested in. Using food and agriculture as an example, it is, as I mentioned, the per credit fee. So if it is you're joining that particular faculty, your fees are going to be calculated using the amount of credits that you're doing for the particular semester. And it's going to be $350 TT per credit. So of course, it's just simply calculating that amount. So the $350 by 3 credits or by 6 credits, and the amount that you choose to do. So again, it's dependent on the faculty. Each faculty will carry its own per credit fee. So I am encouraging you to use the link that is provided on the chat and familiarize yourself with the fee booklet in that aspect. That is it in terms of the fees. The whole fees, of course, it's dependent on which hall you choose to stay on. And I do believe if you have any questions concerning the halls, our hall manager, Mr. Kevin Snacks, will go through that process with you. So that is it for me for now in terms of what are the fees that will be payable on your account when you do register.
Thank you so much, Ms. Ali. And I think that this is a good segue into the second set of questions we have relative to G.A.T.E and when is the good time to apply for G.A.T.E and how does one initiate that process. So I know that we do have the team from the ministry's funding and grants division, Mr. Karen Rubin and team. So Mr. Rubin, I know you're on with us. I want to just toss over to you, just advise persons on when they apply for G.A.T.E and just briefly give us an account of what that process entails, please.
Right, so I know Mrs. Cunningham would have spoken about being given the offer letter. So once the student has received the offer letter, they can now apply for G.A.T.E online. Although classes commence in September of this year, we encourage students to apply as early as possible. That way we can start the processing of the application as soon as we could. Now, the first step in the process is, of course, visiting the TT Connect offices to really get your e-service ID. This is critical and it will stay with you for your duration of your stay with G.A.T.E and accessing G.A.T.E for your funding. So depending on your location, and we do have this information available on the G.A.T.E Connect website. We have about 5 or 6 locations where students can visit G.A.T.E Connect, of course, with their birth certificate and a valid form of ID, be it your national ID or your passport. And there you will get your e-service ID. Once you receive that e-service ID, then you can proceed to apply online for your G.A.T.E. Now, the documents critical for this application, of course, your birth certificate, valid form of ID. The offer letter issued by the institution, which of course will state the program you're pursuing as well as the commencement date of the program. Once you receive all these documents, and of course you would need documents for the means test portion of the application process. Again, all this information is available on our FAQs page on the documents required for the means test. We encourage students to visit this page so they'll know exactly what is required of them when submitting the application. Anything else that I... Right, so we want to remind everyone that there's only citizens of Trinidad and Tobago who of course have been, even if you do decide that students may have been out of the country for a period of time, they need to be back in the country at least 2 to 3 years in order to access the G.A.T.E funding. So that is important for those students who may have been living abroad. Right, and of course we know that for those who may not be aware, our policy was revised back in November of 2020. We would have go through this before, but we want to reiterate again. Students will only be eligible now for one program at the undergraduate level. So be it a certificate, a diploma, advanced diploma, associate degree, or a bachelor level program. Students will only be eligible for one program. So we ask students to choose wisely. Now, I want to also go back to one point. Now, we know in some instances, students may apply to probably 2 different faculties or probably 2 programs in one faculty. We want to encourage students when applying, make sure this is the program that you intend to pursue. If you are still waiting feedback from another faculty on whether or not you get entry into that program, we ask you to please wait until you confirm and you decide, okay, I am going to pursue a BS in Management Studies in the Social Sciences faculty. Only then we ask you to apply for G.A.T.E. All right? All right, so essentially we think that more or less captures initially what they have to do. So first and foremost, again, to reiterate, visit the G.A.T.E Connect office if you haven't already. And of course, await your full acceptance letter from the institution before you apply. And make sure you have all the documents ready. So when you do the application process, everything should be smooth sailing. Back to you, H.E.L.P.
Thank you so much, Mr. Robin and team. And of course, we're asking you to stay on standby. We do have some additional questions coming in. I am noting that Kimika Charles has raised her hand. Kimika, you have a question for us. The floor is open.
Good afternoon, everyone. I was one of the first batch of students who had already started a course when the changes took place with G.A.T.E. So because the plan was initially to get coverage for G.A.T.E. as it was just a certificate for the pre-med program, and once accepted into the med program, get the financial assistance with that. However, it changed while we were already almost finished with the first semester with literally no alternative to have any assistance with repaying, because I believe they gave us 2 months to come up with the entire amount or even a large amount to actually start to repay G.A.T.E. in order to qualify. And that wasn't an option for me. Is there any amnesty for the people who were the first batch of people who had already started courses who were not given this information prior? Whether it's to repay and get the funding or anything of the sort?
Thank you for that question, Kimika. I want to ask if a member of the G.A.T.E team might be able to respond to this. Karen, Anne-Marie, do we have a response at this time?
Right, so I think I understand what you're asking, Ms. Charles, and it has to do with if you completed a program successfully before, if there's any allowances for you to probably reimburse the access funding for a future program. Unfortunately, based on the revised policies, students will not be allowed to reimburse for a completed program. We don't have any amnesty in place at this time. Well, what we will do, each student's case is unique, and we would prefer to review your matter on our G.A.T.E profile and then be able to answer your question specifically, right? So we can probably take your information and we can give you a call after the session is over.
Okay, no problem at all.
Thank you, Mr. Rubin, and great, thank you. Thank you for that, Mr. Rubin and team. We do have some questions coming in regarding scholarships, and I know that my colleague from our Financial Advisory Services Department is on, Ms. Christy Smith. So, Ms. Smith, I want to toss over to you. It's a three-part question. The first part is dealing or asking rather, if a scholarship can be obtained alongside GATE, so someone who has already received or will be receiving GATE funding, if they are eligible for obtaining a scholarship or if they qualify for a scholarship. That's the first part. The second part being what opportunities are available to first students and if they are eligible, whether citizens of Trinidad and Tobago or otherwise. And the final part of the question being how does one initiate that process to apply for a scholarship?
Thank you so much, Terrell, and of course, a warm welcome to all those on the call today, and thank you for your question. So I'm speaking to you from the Financial Advisory Services Department, which is located in the Division of Student Services and Development. When you come into our campus in September, and we certainly look forward to seeing you, we are located in the Lloyd Bradford building on the first floor. That's right above the student accounts section, the bursary, as well as the admission section. And you would have heard from my colleagues in that section as well earlier. So to jump straight into the question, I would like to echo a resounding yes. Yes, you can hold a scholarship and bursary alongside GATE. As a matter of fact, whereas GATE funding deals with tuition and your national bursaries and scholarships also deal with tuition, here at the UE St. Augustine campus, our scholarships and bursaries are non-tuition based. So I want to say that again, it's non-tuition based, which means that you do not need to use it for your tuition, but if you do have a shortfall in GATE, you can opt to use it if you wish. The scholarship funds and bursary funds are usually used for purchase of technology, you may need it to commute to and from the campus, for meals, to purchase medical equipment or books, subscriptions. So more or less these donations, which are really procured but through the kind contributions of Corporate Trinidad, members of our campus community, our alumni, regional and international partners, they are interested in the holistic development of our students, and so they give towards just really helping you with your educational pursuits. So that's question number one. Question number two, whether local regional students are eligible, and the answer to that is yes. So we have over 350 scholarships and bursaries. Our bursaries and scholarships start at 5,000 TT dollars. That's just under 800 US dollars. That's the minimum of our bursary or scholarship. And we have some that go up to 30,000 TT dollars. Some of our scholarships and bursaries are renewable and some are non-renewable or non-continuous. So what we do is we work with our donors to set the criteria. And for some of our donors, they do open the award to nationals and non-nationals, regionals, regional students. So I hope I answered that question. Yes, our scholarships and bursaries are open to regional students as well. Thirdly, sorry, Terrell, could you repeat the third question for me? Sure,
Inquiring about the process to apply for scholarship.
Right. Right, so it's quite simple for our incoming. We have two scholarship cycles, application cycles. The first is actually, today is the deadline, runs from January to June, May, June, and that's for our continuing students, which you will soon be. And the second is for you, our incoming students. And your cycle, your application period runs from the 1st to the 30th of September. We may open it a little earlier this year, perhaps 1 week before. So you may see the applications open for the last week in August, but it will in fact close at the end of September. You go on to our webpage, www.sta.uwi.edu/scholarships. You can read our application page, look at all the different areas that you need to really make sure that you're in tune with, which would share information on our supporting documents and our online form that you must complete. And once you've completed and you have the requisite documents and they're notarized, you upload it and click submit. It's just as easy as that. So I do hope I answered the questions, and I know that there are some other colleagues here with many more questions, but I'm here should any further questions on scholarships and bursaries arise. We really do look forward to receiving your applications come September, because we have found that money comes in quite handy. And let me just add that 98% of our scholarships and bursaries have a financial need component. So if you are in some sort of need, this is where it can actually work for you. Your circumstances can actually work for you. So I do hope that we receive your applications come September. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Ms. Smith, for that comprehensive overview. And of course, students, we are sharing the links with you, or the link with you rather, for the Scholarships and Bursaries website, and we are encouraging you to visit the website and engage with the material there. All right, so Ms. Smith, thank you so very much. Colleagues from our campus that are on, of course, if you see any questions coming in the chat that you can respond to, feel free to respond in the chat as well, so that we provided our students with the information that they need. All right, I am noting that we have 2 hands raised. Akeem, your hand was up first, and then Renel, so we'll go in that order. Akeem, you can ask a question, and Renel, you can follow after.
Yeah, hi, good day, everyone. Okay, so basically, yeah, I'm a national scholarship winner, right? A closed national scholarship winner. And the deadline for my scholarship form was on the 25th of this month. However, I was missing one piece of document, which was my UE acceptance letter into the Faculty of Law, the LLB. And I still haven't received any information from them. I went on campus to try and get some information. I emailed them, I called, and still nothing. They just say I had to wait. So I don't know if that gonna affect me in any way. And the scholarship, I just had to send it in with my confirmation letter, like for the saying that I actually submitted. Well, I actually applied and they see my information, but I haven't gotten any response from them yet.
Okay, thanks for your question, Akeem. Just confirming the email address that you sent the information to, do you know that offhand?
I could go into my email and retrieve it, yeah.
Yes, okay. All right. Okay, I'm gonna circle back, Akeem. I will private message you. I'll ask you to share the email address, and before the session is over, we'll circle back to your question, all right? So, but if it is that you can retrieve the email address, we can take it from there.
Yeah, I get it here now, sir.
Yeah, sure. No problem. So I will toss over to Renel, Akeem, and I'll circle back to you in a moment, all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Renel, the floor is open.
Good day, everyone. This question is more so directed to the representatives from G.A.T.E. It was stated that a student should not apply for G.A.T.E. unless he or she is certain that that is the program that they are going into. So if a student is awaiting a decision, for example, from the Faculty of Law, based on their Unit 3 results, which would be coming out in August, wouldn't that be too late to apply for G.A.T.E. in time for the start of the semester? And if the application is not processed in time for the start of the semester, would the students still be able to start their respective courses?
All right, thank you for that question, Renel. Colleagues from G.A.T.E., do we have a response? Miss Cunningham from our admissions office, and perhaps even Miss Ali from our bursary. Do we have additional information that we could share with Renel? But I'll toss over to the team at G.A.T.E. For their response first.
Right, so we want to still encourage students to, they can apply as soon as they would have received their firm acceptance letter. But in this student's case, where she's awaiting confirmation from the Faculty of Law, I think that she should wait, because you see, the reason why we are asking students to apply early is that we want to begin the application process early. So by the time the student is about to register, hopefully all the information is in, and it should be smooth sailing going forward. There's no I don't want to say there's not a deadline to submit your application form at G.A.T E because there is, but classes do commence in September. And I'm thinking, or at least I'm hoping that you should receive a response from the Faculty of Law by the time you are to begin your classes in September. And at that time, will still be quite all right for you to submit your G.A.T E application form if you have received your response from the Faculty of Law before September. As soon as you get that confirmation and they issue your firm acceptance letter, you can go ahead and apply for G.A.T E online. But we suggest that you wait until you get that, because we don't want to grant an approval for a program that you are not going to pursue, and then we have to pull back the application. We want, when we grant an approval, this is the program you're about to pursue, and then of course the fees and everything can be calculated as such. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, but yeah, let's say I apply in August, which is when results are coming out for Unit 2. If the application is not processed in time for the start of the semester, am I able to start my courses without G.A.T E funding? Or would I have to pay, personally finance the course and then be repaid from G.A.T E? That was mostly the question.
All right, Renella, I'm noting your question. My colleague, Miss Lisa Ali from the Bursary, will respond. Miss Ali, over to you.
Thanks. So Renelle, yes, you will be able to attend your classes. So that is not going to hinder you. Not having an e-G.A.T E application is not going to hinder you. Of course, as soon as you get that acceptance letter from the university, you are encouraged, as our colleagues at the G.A.T E office indicated, apply immediately for your e-G.A.T E application. Once you do that application, you do print what we refer to as a student copy of that e-G.A.T E application, and that is one of the documents will come to us at the bursary to facilitate your financial clearance. So the G.A.T E application does not have to be means approved just yet. If, however, at the point in time you're still not able to do an e-G.A.T E application, you are still going to be allowed to attend classes. And in terms of your arrangement for fees, we do have a payment plan. So even if it comes down to you having to fund yourself, you can pay in 3 installments. Of course, that is going to start, the first installment is going to start somewhere at the end of the registration period. So you will still have some time, and hopefully by then you can get your G.A.T E sorted out. So we would use that in the, if it is you do not have the opportunity to apply for G.A.T E just yet, of course, it means you're going to have to fund yourself. And of course, we can always make arrangements for reimbursement when you do get your G.A.T E application. So it's not a problem for you to attend the classes. It's not going to hinder you at all where that is concerned.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ali. Akeem, I am noting that I got your question in the chat and we are conversing. So Ms. Cunningham, I will be sending you some information for Akeem, who's inquiring about his status where acceptance is concerned. So Akeem, we will talk offline, and by we, I mean a member of the admissions team. We'll speak with you offline, right? But I am noting your contact information that you shared with me, all right? Thank you. I see we have 2 hands raised. Kelly, you can go, and Chanel, you can follow.
Hi, good day. There's a question for G.A.T E. I applied for the e-service ID already like last month, and I was going to start the process of registering for the G.A.T E application. But I received an email and I was told that the funding was declined because it was too early to apply. So I was wondering, when is the proper time to apply for G.A.T E?
Good afternoon, Ms. Holder. I'm
Good
not
afternoon.
sure when you would have applied, but I'm thinking you would have applied prior to June 1st, because we actually commenced the processing of the applications for the upcoming year. We started processing those applications as of the 1st of June this year, which means it is now open. You can now log into your account and you can submit your application for the upcoming academic year. That rejection you would have gotten, you would have applied prior to the start of the processing, which is June 1st. So you're now free to apply. You can do so at your earliest convenience. Yeah.
Okay. The rejection that I was given wasn't like a rejection from funding on the whole kind of rejection, right? There was a rejection because I was applying too early kind of rejection.
If for certain, Right, so we can't say for certain. Let me ask this question to Ms. Holder. Did you access G.A.T.E before, or this is your first time accessing G.A.T.E?
First time.
All right, but then the rejection you would have gotten would have been it was too early at that time. But now it's not too early. Now it's the right time to submit that application form. So we urge you to do so as soon as possible. All right.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're most welcome.
Okay, I see Ved, you have your hand raised. You may proceed.
I wasn't here for earlier, so could you just outline the basics for how would you apply for G.A.T.E?
Okay, thank you for your question. Are you a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago?
Yep.
Yes, okay, great. All right, so Mr. Rubin, I'll just ask you to just take us through briefly what the steps are for the benefit of everyone on the call. Thank you.
Yes, so well, first and foremost, as we would have said earlier, is that the student needs to go to one of the T.T. Connect offices to first receive their e-service ID, which is critical for them to submit the application online. That will allow you access to log into your G.A.T.E account and of course, apply online. So the first step is to visit the closest T.T. Connect office to you. There are about 5 or 6 locations nationwide. We urge you to visit the T.T. Connect website where they have all the locations and a contact number. And when you're visiting T.T. Connect, of course, you need to walk with a valid form of identification, either your passport or your national ID. Once you receive this e-service ID, then you can proceed to do the application online. What documents you will need to do this application? Of course, you will need the offer letter from the institution indicating which program you're pursuing and when is the commencement date of this program, your birth certificate, valid form of ID, and of course, the documents for the means test. Now, you may wonder what documents you may need. This information is available on the FAQs page of the G.A.T.E website. It details exactly all the documents needed in order to complete the means test components of the G.A.T.E application. I hope this answers your question.
Thank you, Mr. Rubin. Fred, any additional questions or are you good?
That would be all for now. Thank you.
Yes? Okay, great. No problems. I am noting we have some additional questions coming in. I'm pleased to say that our colleague from Campus IT Office is on with us. We do have some questions regarding student email and understanding what that process would look like. More specifically, when does one have access to student email and the student portal? So Ms. Stacia, I just want to hand over to you to give us a brief outline of when students can have access to student email, how that process is conducted, as well as the student and their access to said portal. So Ms. Stacia, I want to hand over to you just to outline the process for us. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Gerald. Good afternoon, everybody else. Thanks, Gerald, for inviting me here. As to when student emails will be the student portal will be accessible. You will be able to access the portal once registration is in full swing. That should be in the middle of August. For a specific date, kindly check your student acceptance letter. Once you're able to access the student portal, you should be able to access your email. Now, your email for school is usually your first name, full stop, last name at my.uwi.edu. And the password would be your date of birth in the format 4 digits for year, 2 for month, and 2 for day. Now, there are no dashes or slashes or spaces between the year, month, and day. You just access your email using those credentials. However, once you've been able to access the student portal using your student ID and your date of birth, again, in the same format, you should change your password. You will be asked some questions, and those questions you must remember the answer in order to be able to reset your password in the future. Now, you are advised to reset your password from the default of your date of birth, right? Now, once you're accessing the student portal and you have changed the password for every other application in the student portal the password would change, and it will change to the password that you used to get into the portal, or the password that you changed the student portal account to, right? Is there any other question?
Ms. Stacia, thank you so very much for that. Just to also add, students, that we do have an initiative called UE Clicks, where Ms. Stacia will actually be facilitating the session, and we are going to be specific about the student portal and the student email. So I'm not seeing any additional questions on that particular topic as of now, Ms. Stacia, but we will certainly be sharing details with students about the upcoming UE Click session, where you will facilitate all things student portal related. All right. Great. Thank you so very much. I'll definitely be monitoring the chat. I see Sophia has a hand raised. Sophia, do you have a question for us?
Hi, yes, good afternoon. Quick question with respect to applying for GA.T.E. You're saying that we can go ahead and apply for GA.T.E. funding now, but I know in the past, we were told, or at least my sister would have been told, that we had to wait until the summer school was completed before us new applicants apply for GA.T.E. Does that still apply?
Right, so we have two groups of students at the University of the West Indies. We have new students starting programs in September, and we also have continuing students who already started the program before. If you are a continuing student, we will need to see what courses you do in the summer in order to assess you for entry into the new academic term beginning in September. That's if you did summer courses. For new students, we will not need to see, because obviously you will not have anything to show for the summer. You're now starting your time at the University of the West Indies. So yes, for continuing students who did pursue courses in the summer, we will need you to wait for those results before you apply for the upcoming semester. However, this does not apply to the new students. New students can apply as of today's dates, once you receive the firm acceptance letter.
Okay, thank you. And one other question, with respect to the collection of IDs, how does that work, please?
All right, Mr. Caille, are you on with us? I know Mr. Caille would have taken us through some of the steps for applying for one's student ID card, and as well as the collection. Mr. Caille, if you're on with us again, can you perhaps just go those steps again, specifically the collection of the ID?
Sure, Gerald. Thanks for the question. In terms of the collection of the IDs, once the ID is ready, you will receive an email saying that your ID card is ready, and we will be implementing an appointment system for the collection of IDs for the coming semester. Once that is in place, you will get the date and time to collect the ID. You'll be coming to the building opposite the health service unit that is on campus, and we will be able to distribute the IDs from that location. If there's a change in location, we will inform you via email and through our website to let you know of the change in location. But that is the current plan. So I hope that answers the question.
Yes, thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Sophia. Thank you, Mr. Caille. Valini, I am noting your hand raised. I do have another question. And Rian, we'll get to you in just a moment, all right? So we do have a two-part question for Ms. Lewis. You're on with us, Ms. Lewis from our Careers, Co-Curricular and Community Engagement Department. And Ms. Lewis, we have a question regarding student employment. So the question is, when is one eligible to apply for campus employment, and how does that process work? Is the job decided for the student, or is the student assigned, as well as what are the number of hours per week? So I'll go that over again. When does one apply for student employment on campus? How is it treated? In that, is it persons assigned? Do persons get to choose? And lastly, what are the maximum number of hours that an undergraduate student is required to work per week? Ms. Lewis, over to you.
Thanks so much, Jarrell, and good afternoon, everyone. To be eligible for semester employment, you must be a registered student. As the name implies, it's student employment. So once you are fully registered, there's a link that we will send out, and this goes not just for semester employment or student employment, but as Marlene and the bursary and everyone will tell you, you must continue to check your student email. So we will send a link to all your inboxes, your student email addresses, and everything is online. From there, you can go ahead and apply. It's also going to be circulated through the Marketing and Communications Office. So it will be circulated on a number of occasions at the beginning of the semester. So once you apply, your name will be a part of our database, and we'll also have a copy of your resumes for those of you who have resumes and submit them. What's going to happen is the departments on campus, they are going to send a request to our department, careers, co-curricular, and community engagement. And once they send that request, it's probably going to be a job description, or they will send specifics for that position. And we are going to forward a list to them or resumes. And they are going to make the selections. In other words, they are going to call you, they're going to interview you, and they're going to decide on the students that they want to hire. So that's how the process works. You get the link, you apply, we have your name in our database, and we forward your name to the requesting departments. In terms of the number of hours for undergraduate students, you work 12 hours per week, and that is around your academic schedule. So once you're registered for classes, the various departments will arrange your schedules around your set courses. For postgraduate students, you can work 20 hours per week. This is pretty standard, but sometimes there are special projects and students work just over the allotted 12 or 20 hours per week. Yes, if you have a particular interest and you wish to work for a particular department, then feel free to contact us and we would see if that department is hiring. And we would, of course, forward your name to that department. Yeah. Is that it, Gerald?
I think so. Thank you so much, Ms. And of course, students, we will share the information with you in the link in the chat as well, the link to the careers website. So all of the information that Ms. Lewis would have shared there on semester employment will be made available to you as well. All right, so Ms. Lewis, thank you so much. Okay, Rian, are you with us? Do you have a question?
Yes, hello, good day. Regarding the eligibility for G.A.T.E funding, let's say previously someone had received G.A.T.E funding to do, for example, a diploma in a trade. Would that then make them ineligible for G.A.T.E funding for their undergraduate program at the UE?
Right, so firstly, it depends on whether or not G.A.T.E would have funded that diploma level program. And of course, it also matters whether or not the student completed that program successfully or not. So if the student did in fact complete the program successfully, then unfortunately, they will not be able to access funding for a second program. If for whatever reason the program is incomplete, then of course we will review the student's profile, and if the student did not complete, we may allow the student to reimburse for that incomplete program. And we can guide you through exactly what is the process and what needs to happen. Now, Mr. Flavely, isn't that G.A.T.E would have paid for the diploma program, or you paid for that program out of pocket?
G.A.T.E would have paid for the diploma program.
And did you complete that program successfully?
Well, we completed the program, but as of right now, they haven't given us definitive results as yet.
As yet, okay. So unfortunately, once the program is completed successfully, and based on the new policy, the one program policy, unfortunately, we will not fund the second program. All right, but if you want, we can guide you to what measures are available to you if you want to seek probably some kind of the H.E.L.P loan, that we would have go through what the H.E.L.P loan entails in our previous session. But we can give you a call after the session is over and I'd let you know what avenues are available to you if you want to continue on in pursuing your academic pursuits.
All right, great.
We do have a few other questions coming in, and I am noting that we also have some hands raised. When could we sign up for fee pay and gain financial clearance? When are students required to pay the student compulsory fees? So Ms. Ali, I know you probably may have covered this before, but just for the benefit of everyone that's on, can we provide some information on when persons can sign up for fee pay and gain financial clearance? When can they also pay compulsory fees?
Sure, Gerald. So fee pay runs in line with your registration period. So when the registration period begins for the 22-23 academic year, the enrollment for fee pay will begin at that same time. When the registration period closes, at the same time, the enrollment for fee pay is going to be closed. So as soon as you are able to get into your student portal to select your courses for registration, we're asking that you use that opportunity as well to enroll into fee pay so that you can access the payment plan. The compulsory fees are going to be billed on your account at the beginning of the academic year, which will be semester 1. This semester coming up for you, which will be August, September. So once it's billed onto your account, it's not necessary for you to pay it separately or immediately, because once you enroll in fee pay, you are given the option of using the 3 installment that comes with the payment plan. So what it's going to do is going to take your tuition as well as your compulsory fees. It's going to combine it, and then it's going to work out the 3 installments based on those 2 sets of fees on your account. So if you choose, if it's within your financial circumstances to go ahead and make your payment for your compulsory fees in full, by all means go ahead, but it is not necessary to pay it upfront because fee pay will take it into consideration with your payment plan.
Great, thank you so much, Ms. Ali. And students, I know that we do have a number of questions coming in regarding GATE. So Mr. Rubin, perhaps we may have to explore an opportunity for us to go through GATE specifics maybe at another time. We will try to facilitate as many questions as we have today, but perhaps we can talk offline about another opportunity where we can have a GATE specific session so that we can respond to all of the questions that we have coming in. All right. I am noting we have some questions about student accommodation. I know that our accommodation manager is on, Mr. Kevin Snaggs. So Mr. Snaggs, the question really is, when does one apply for H.E.L.P, and how does one, how does that process go? So when does one apply for H.E.L.P and how can they do so? Mr. Snaggs?
Thank you, Gerald. Thank you for allowing us to be part of this session. Good afternoon, everyone. Applications to H.E.L.P accommodation are open now. The application process is quite simple. I will drop the link for the online application form in the chat. You can apply online by clicking on the link. What we require for applications is quite simple. Once you've applied, you'll be asked to submit a picture of yourself, a character reference, either a recommendation letter or a certificate of good character from the police. The third item, we ask if you have already received your acceptance letter to share that with us. And then finally, you will be given a link to pay your whole application fee, which is Trinidad and Tobago, $250. The entire process is online. We currently have 3 of our halls available for this semester. The Canada Hall, which is located on the southern side of campus. The Joyce Gibson Innes Hall, which is dedicated for students of the Faculty of Medical Sciences. That hall is located at the Eric William Medical Sciences Center down in Mount Hope. And the Sir Arthur Lewis Hall of Residence, which is on St. John's Road in St. Augustine, which is the north part of campus, which is 5 minutes from the main campus. So we will put the link for student accommodations already on the chat. I will also put a direct link for the application page, and I look forward to seeing your applications. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Snaggs. Before you go, someone is inquiring about curfew. Or is that something that obtains?
There are no restrictions for residents of the halls. As a resident of the hall, you can come and go as you wish. However, we do have restrictions for security reasons for visitors to the halls. There are visitor hours, and all visitors must be signed in by the resident who invited them. So visiting hours are restricted between 7 a.m. and 10 p.m. So if you are a resident of the hall and you, for example, you have gone out and you went partying one night and you came home at 4 in the morning, there's no restrictions when you're returning to the hall. We have no curfews for our residents.
Great. Thank you so much, Mr. Snarks. So I know that we are generally preparing for face-to-face classes. I'm not sure how much information we might be able to share at today's session regarding expectations for face-to-face to campus.
Yes, so from all indications and based on information from the campus registrar, all classes will be face-to-face. Of course, there may be some classes that were previously used a hybrid approach. And what we are encouraging students is to stay engaged and stay connected. Once you attend academic advising, all this information will be clarified to you by the faculty. The nature of the classes is very faculty and even program specific. So you must liaise with your academic advisor in order to get final information on if your classes are going to be wholly face-to-face, if it's going to be hybrid, virtual, and you will receive that information there. What we encourage you to do is do prepare for face-to-face courses. Do remain engaged on campus. The research shows that once you're engaged, your chances of pursuing your course and persistent to graduation increases. This is one of the ways that you are engaged by receiving this information beforehand. And as Jarrell said, if you took a lot of copious notes, you are well prepared. So thank you, Jarrell, and we do look forward to seeing you all. We miss you all. And for those of you who are coming in for the first time, welcome to Pelican Country.
Thank you so much, Ms. Lewis. So we just wanted to ensure that you got that. Sorry, I'm noting a question about the undergraduate fee booklet and syllabus and regulations, and when will this be available, specifically information on the 2022-2023 academic year. Colleagues from the Bourgeois admissions team, do we have any information at this time regarding when the updated regulations and undergraduate fee booklets will be available?
We are still in the process of working on getting the calendar together. Hopefully it should be ready soon. Once it's available, it will be placed on the website.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Gerald, excuse, the same applies to the fee booklets. We are doing some work on those, and again, as soon as it's available, we will post it on our Bursary website as well.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Ms. Cunningham. Thank you, Ms. Ali. So students, there is information there now on websites that you can engage with. But of course, once the content is updated, this too will be shared with you. So we're encouraging you to please pay attention to your emails. I hope that from today's session, it is very, very clear to you that your emails are very important and ensuring that you check those daily. Nicholas?
Sorry about that. Can I still shoot? Sorry about that. I had to help the family. Can I still shoot that question?
Sure.
Thank you. Say you applied for bursaries already, right? And that was about 60 days ago. Where would I have to contact if I'm on a question that stated that?
If you applied for a bursary?
Yeah.
Via the website, the Scholarships and Bursaries website?
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay. Ms. Smith, are you on with us? Are you still on with us?
Yes, I am. I'm right here.
Okay, great.
So this is Ved. Did I pronounce your name correctly?
Ved, ma'am.
Okay, great. Thanks for your question. So right now we are receiving applications for continuing students. Are you a continuing student, or will you be coming in September?
Fresh as an bush.
Sorry?
I'm a new student, man.
A new student. So what might have happened there is that you applied during our application for continuing students, which you will be invited to do next year around the same time. But for now, for this year, your application period would be between September 1st to the 30th. So sorry, thank you for sending in your application, but we will only be considering students who are returning or continuing during this particular cycle. So we look forward to receiving your application in September, at which point in time we will consider the incoming students, and you will get some notification about your success. If you are successful, by October, the end of October.
Thank you kindly, Mrs.
You're most welcome, and please remember to send it again, okay?
Of course. And one more question. Sorry about that.
Sure, you can.
I hear a lot about the emails. We getting one from school, or is that the one we use to register?
All right, so thanks for your question. So the emails that we're using as of now would be the email address used to apply to the EWI until you get your actual student email. So we are communicating with you guys via the email address that you use to apply to UE. All right, and that will continue up until you register and you receive your student email address.
Thank you.
Yes, okay, sure, no problem. So we do have time just for two final questions, students, before we wrap today. So anyone that may want to open their microphone, again, if it's something GATE specific, you may want to hold until we set a date for that GATE specific session. But if it is outside of GATE, you can certainly ask that question now. Again, we have just about 2 minutes to wrap. So anyone that may have their hand raised.
Hello. Hi.
Hi.
So the orientation and the registration, will that be in person or online?
So the pre-orientation has started, and this is the first leg, I will say, of orientation. So in the month of July, we do have some virtual activities planned, as well as an on-campus engagement that we definitely encourage you to be part of. August still has to be determined whether the faculty orientation will be held on campus or virtually, but we definitely will keep you posted. So for July, you can look forward to correspondence from us on some on-campus engagements that will be happening physically. And of course, we will have some virtual activities as well in the month of July. Registration is concerned, this too will be facilitated online.
Okay, thank you.
All right, no problem.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi.
Concerning CAPE Unit 2 grades, they are not going to be given out. I think they'll be given out somewhere in August, I believe. So will we get the acceptance letters after we have submitted our CAPE Unit 2 grades?
Okay, Ms. Cunningham, do we have a response?
Yes, Ms. Supersad. It's based on your faculty. They would assess your application based on your Unit 1, and you will hear from us soon where that is concerned. Not all faculties will assess you based on Unit 1. Some of them are going to be waiting on the Unit 2. But once the results are out in time, we will assess the application and you would get word from us before the end of August, because CAPE is normally available in August every year. All right, I hope I answered your question.
Thank you.
No problem.
Great.
Hello, I have a question. Hi, I have a question on the hard acceptance. When will that be approximately sent out to people who sent the acceptance form back?
You have a question on your acceptance letter?
The hard acceptance, I think it was called. Is it hard acceptance is what it's called? Yeah, after you sent back the acceptance letter.
After you send the offer reply, you mean?
Yeah, yes, that.
After the offer?
Yeah.
Okay, so once you would have submitted that offer reply form to us, the letter that you've got before that, that's your acceptance letter. That's the letter you're going to use if you have to apply for GATE to upload. So don't lose that letter because you will need it in the near future. That is your acceptance letter to the institution. So you need to hold on to that.
Okay, so so that is the final letter that I need to say that I got accepted into UE with, correct?
Correct. Yes, yes. And it will say congratulations. Yes, that's the letter. Yes, sir.
Okay, so there's nothing. Okay, sorry, I misunderstood. Yeah. And one last question. Is there anything that will prevent somebody from being accepted into UE after that besides paying of fees and stuff like that? Like, for example, the medical form. If your medical form does not go through, as an example, would that prevent you from getting into UE?
once you have that letter and you have a medical form, that means you have already been accepted. Your medical forms aren't available before acceptance, only when you're accepted. So once you receive that offer package from us, that acceptance package online, that means you are now a UE student. So nothing that will prevent you. No problem. So you're welcome.
Fully appreciate that, big time.
No problem.
Okay, great. So I believe we have to wrap now. Students, I will say just a few things. Oh, I think we have a microphone open.
Yeah, I have a question. I guess I'll ask.
Sure.
Okay, sorry. So my question is about the booklets. Like, so should we still pay our fees before the booklets are updated, before the fee booklet is updated, or do we have to, or should we wait after?
Ms. Ali, would you like to respond to this question as regarding fees? Should the student wait for fees to be updated? Is it generally going to be the same fees that they're seeing online now? Can they proceed to make payments?
Sorry about that. Yes, you can proceed to make your payments. So far, we have not received any confirmation that fees would be changing. So far, everything remains the same. So yes, you can go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
Great, and I think Josiah, your hand is up as well. So we'll take this final question. Josiah?
Yeah, I just wondered if all this information will be like available on the site, because I wasn't here for the other classes. I came in late. So I just wanted.
That's okay. So we do have updated information on most, if not all of our sites. So Bursary site, you will see updated information there. Our admission site, you will see updated information there. You have contact information for the G.A.T.E office, as well as our FYE site would also have important information and updated information on orientation events. Our FYE YouTube channel as well would have recordings of all of the sessions that would have gone before today's session. So we encourage you to engage with that also. I want to say, students, that orientation is a process, and we hope that you don't feel too anxious, even if you did not get your question answered today. Just know that orientation is a process, and this is why we have designed these initiatives to meet with you to ensure that you get the information that you need as you transition. All right, transitioning successfully is very important. Your transition to university is very important to us. And so we will launch the necessary interventions across the next few weeks to ensure that you have all the information that you need to comfortably start your first year with us at the UE St. Augustine campus. So you may be wondering, what are some of the next steps following today? Today, we want you to pay attention to your email. We will be sending you correspondence on what is up next. And I will just say, following today's session, we will be planning for our FYE mixers. So we are actually launching a new show called FYE Buzz, and this will be hosted by students. And this will also provide information with you, as you start your new university journey, your first year with us on campus. So this show will actually be premiered on July 5th. So this is next Tuesday at 6 p.m. by our FYE YouTube channel. We encourage you to check in with it. This is another platform just for you to really feel comfortable as you make this transition to university. Also, we have our FYE mixers, like I said, that's happening later on in July. So we will send you an email with that information for you to register for this exercise, so that you can be part of the campus store, so that you can meet other new students like yourself. This is an exciting journey. We know that it's a lot of information, but we encourage you to stay connected with us. Finally, our FYE website and FYE YouTube channel are two very, very important platforms with content for you to engage with at your own time. So we encourage you to stay connected with us. And entire team at the UWI St. Augustine campus, we say again, thank you for spending this time with us today, and especially for persons that would have been here with us for the last few weeks. Thank you for being part of Smart Start. We will certainly stay connected with you. We will send information on the GATE specific session that we may host next week, just for you to take advantage of that. And like I said, it's a process, so do not be too worried about next steps. We will certainly ensure that you have all that you need to get your first year of study off to a great start. So with that, I want to say thank you on behalf of the entire team, and we wish you a great rest of day. Thank you.